This UNOH 200 betting picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code RACESGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled Xfinity episode to bring you breaking news. We have switched, and now we are going to give you...
Hey, Rod, shout out to the books. 20 minutes ago, they decided to bless us with Truck Series odds, even though the race is tomorrow. Thank you for helping us plan this in advance and giving us plenty of time to look through things and figure out what we want to bet on. So it's going to be a little bit of a different show today, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for it. We're talking trucks Thursday night under the lights at Bristol. Let's fucking go.
We almost had to just forego a truck episode at all this week, which I mean, it sucks because
I wasn't going to let it happen, Rod.
No, you were
we were going to create our own odds and have our own show.
We were actually, we had talked about what we were going to do if we couldn't get odds for the trucks. I mean, we were like, well, do we forego it completely? Do we make videos in the morning and just sort of give it there? But we do have truck odds. Thank you, God. So here's what we're going to do, because we literally decided, full disclosure, we just got done taping the Formula One Gambling Podcast. So go check out the F1 Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network as well. We just got done doing that. Cody says, I have a proposal for you. I literally just seen that we have truck odds up. Should we just do a truck episode real quick and go through this and kind of spitball what we've got going on as we look at the odds? Sort of a live reaction show to the odds. And I said, absolutely. Jessica agrees. Good afternoon, guys. And finally, trucks. So that's what we're going to do. This is a little unorthodox. It's not the way we normally do it, but kind of got forced into this week.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do. We're running with it on the fly. If we didn't do it now, when would we get the opportunity to do it? It would be tough to get it out for you to have time to consume. Hopefully you're joining us live here like a few people are. But this will get it out in the podcast feed with some time as well. So, yeah, really, I've not dug much into trucks, Rod, to be honest with you, yet this week, because I generally – I sort of have an idea who I want to be on, and I look at some things, but odds dictate so much about what you're going to do. It's hard to look at it. So we literally just got these odds within the last 30 minutes. We just got done with the F1 pod 6 minutes ago. So we've not had time to even look through any of this stuff. So it's all going to be new to us. We're just going to walk through everything. I mean, look, there's not a ton of options anyways, because there usually isn't for the Truck Series anyways, but Caesar's the only one who has stuff up. So Bet365, generally the top fives will be better when that comes up. BetUS will have better top five numbers and stuff. But this will give us an opportunity to look at it, see what we got going on, and you can kind of see our process of why do we like things, and are we going to bet on Christian Eckes top 3 and minus 350 or not?
Oof, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yuck. JDK, trucks and Xfinity at the same time? No, you don't want that supersized episode. We're going to break it
tomorrow. It'll be it'll get its own episode. We do have all our picks in already in the dock, so we're ready to go. That was the plan. If you were, some of you guys were already over in the other chat waiting. We had the Xfinity show scheduled because we didn't think we were getting truck odds, and here we are. But luckily, Rod and I are both very flexible people. the military, if they taught us nothing else, it's be ready to change for absolutely no reason in a split second. And here we are.
Semper Gumby. Hurry up, get all of your stuff and head over to the trucks. We're about to leave right now after we wait for 6 hours for ammo. So go ahead and just get settled in.
I don't know if you noticed this, Rod, but if you look, and your time probably slightly different since we're in different time zones, but Jessica's comment shows 4:09 p.m., which would be 2:09 your time. JDK's comment says 5:38 p.m. First of all, it's not even 5:38 on the East Coast. So JDK is coming to us from the future. So
Woo.
If you can go a little farther into the future, come back with some picks, JDK.
Yes,
We'd really appreciate that. I don't
Tell
know,
us how this
I don't know
race
what's
ends.
going on with the time code here on StreamYard, but whatever.
JDK's Biff Tannen with the sports almanac in his hand. He's ready to tell us who wins this race. But speaking of which, if you don't have the almanac, then you are among the few that are ready for the war against corporate gambling. It's heating up right now, and SGPN needs you to do your part, much like the Starship Troopers are telling you. Do your part and smash the bugs. Look, take a couple seconds. Just rate and review this show, all right? That's all we ask of you to do. Just look, and we prefer a good 5-star review, but reviews are reviews at this point. We just want you to leave your opinion on the show. Hopefully it's a good one. But go ahead and rate and review our show. But more importantly than that, tell a friend, tell your buddies, tell everybody that you know that this show exists and that you love it, because word of mouth is truly the heartbeat of the SGPN. I mean, look, the bosses can take all of their money and try to advertise the heck out of the network, but instead they pour it into the content and the quality and the creators, and we benefit from it, and you guys benefit from it, because we want to keep producing content that's of the quality that they're expecting, because we know they care about us and we care about you. So support us, support the show, support the SGPN, and make sure that your voice is heard amongst the many. So, this is the real JDK, and then the JDK. Oh, that's okay. Twitter.
And one's on X, one's on YouTube. Walter saying his comment never made it in 3 hours ago. It did make it in. We'll address it tomorrow because it's on the other show, which we rescheduled for tomorrow. But you did say cutoff week for the next round. It's Bristol, baby. Let's fucking go. So don't worry. Did see your comment over there, Walter. Appreciate you always being early. Appreciate you being here now. And JDK has now switched over to the YouTube, in which his comment shows up on the actual time that it is. So only in the future when he's on X, I guess, which can happen, I suppose.
Oh, you gotta love it. It is Bristol, baby. It is the UNOH, which is the University of Northern Ohio, if you're nasty. 200, presented by Ohio Logistics, which, by the way, this race is in Bristol, Tennessee. Doesn't have anything to do with Ohio.
Yeah, but that UNOH, they have there's a campus here in Lincoln, Nebraska for that.
Wow.
I think it's a big online school, and then they have campuses everywhere, which is probably why they're advertising. So shout out to advertisers. We love them. But yeah, they're nationwide, even though they're Ohio.
Are they on your side?
Nationwide is, yes.
All right. This is
Painting Manning will tell you that all the time. I don't know if you've seen those. I'm Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Did you say Peyton or Peyton?
Peyton. Yeah. This is what happens, guys, when the books don't give us the odds on time. We literally tap dance around this. No, we are at Bristol for like I said, the UNOH 200 presented by Ohio Logistics, set for 200 laps around this 0.533 mile paved short track for a tidy little 106.600 mile race. Trucks are back, by the way. It feels like forever. We are now in the playoffs for the trucks. We've been in the playoffs for the trucks for the last month. We've been in stasis while we wait for the next round. But yeah, buddy, trucks are back. One of our favorite series.
Yeah, absolutely. Trucks are back. And this is the second race in the round of 8 or round of 10, I guess they start with. So Kansas next week will be their cutoff race. So of course it was Lane Riggs, who won last time out 6 months ago when they raced last. So nobody has locked themselves in. Eckes does come in with a 60-point cushion. He could definitely secure his way in. But yeah, it's going to be a good battle at the bottom. We do have a couple pieces of news if we want to get into those really quickly, Rob.
But of course we do.
So Jordan Bianchi, from Jordan Bianchi is where I saw this from. Big Machine Racing names Nick Sanchez to drive the number 48 full-time next season. Parker Kligerman, of course, announced his retirement from full-time racing, which sounds like it was because he got let go from them and just decided that he's not going to be full-time anymore, which he probably didn't have an opportunity to be anyways. But neither here nor there. Nick Sanchez moving up from the Truck Series into the Xfinity Series. He's raced with that team before Kligerman was full-time. He was kind of in that car a few times as well. So that's, taking the next step, I suppose, for Nick Sanchez. Be interesting to see what he can do in that 48 car. It's kind of a third tier car, I guess you could say. So interesting to see what he's able to get done on that.
We know he's a talented driver, and every time we talk about him in the Truck Series, we're always like, yeah, Nick Sanchez did great in KBM and blah, blah, blah. And so we know in good equipment that he could be a good driver. And now we're seeing this year that even in, I know, I get it, it's essentially the same as KBM, but not, I mean, it doesn't have the name behind it. So, he's still a solid driver.
He's technically the Rev truck, right? Which is part of Spire, but it's not. It's confusing.
It feels like just, I don't know anymore. You're all the same team. It's just, you might as well just.
You're in different places.
Yeah, you're in different places. But
the one other piece of news, Rod, Bubba Wallace, multi-year contract extension for 2311. Of course, 2311 doesn't even have a charter agreement for going forward. So still questions on that, but Bubba Wallace will be back for multiple seasons. That is not shocking in any way, shape, or form. We very much all expected that to be the case, and it is now official. And I'm sure that they've got wording in there if there's not charters that maybe that deal doesn't exist. But I don't think that'll be an issue. They're going to get it figured out. NASCAR's not just going to take Michael Jordan's charters and say fuck off. So that's not the power move you think it is, Rod.
Could you imagine telling Michael Jordan no? You got to have the biggest cojones in the world to stand up and go, no, Michael Jackson.
The backlash from telling Michael Jordan no. Oof.
No, that's
rough.
Yeah. You got to also be standing on a very tall ladder to look him in the eye to tell him no, because there's no way anybody in NASCAR is tall enough to tell him no face to face. So love it. All right. So, Cody, I know that this is a playoff race, so the entry list is the way it is. Yeah. There's not Kyle Busch in this time like there was in this one.
No trucks or no Cup Series guys in this one. There is 38 trucks for 36 spots. The two drivers will go home. William Sawalich is going to be back in the number 1 truck for Tricon. The number 02 for Young's Motorsports is going to be Justin Modecki. I guess. There you go. Marco Andretti, that is going to be back in the 04 truck. Connor Zilich, we just saw him win last week in the Xfinity Series. He's going to be making an oval start here at Bristol in the 7 car for Spire Motorsports. And then 21 will be, or 7 truck, I guess it is. Mason Maggio's back. Keith McGee's back. Connor Moysack, if you remember those days, is back in the 41. Tomasi's back in the 46, Connor Jones in the 66, and then the 81 truck, which is going to be McAnally Hilgeman is entering, I guess, a 4th. Is that a 5th truck? That'd be a 5th truck. It's going to be the 81 truck because they've got the 91, which is Jack Wood again, and this is Corey Day. Corey Day, I believe, is a short track late model racer, Rod. I am trying to find that information real quickly, but I do believe that he is yes, he is a short track late model driver. Looks like he's done some racing for JRM kind of throughout his deal. So, is he a sprint car guy? Corey Day, full-time sprint car guy in the High Limit Series with Kyle Larson. Okay. Ooh. So there you go. I guess he's run a little bit of everything is sort of what it looks like, but yeah, dirt sprint guy coming over to race in the Truck Series. So there you go. There you have it.
Truck drivers all around. All right. So okay. Again, if you're just joining us live and maybe you just joined us in the podcast, maybe you just decided to skip through the first 15 minutes, which, first of all, don't do that.
To each their own.
But if you did, we are going to be just kind of going over the odds, going over what we think of these guys, and give you our live reactions to the books and what they're giving us. So we will do all of that. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is always adding to their awesome menu. They now even have first touchdown projections for all of the games. Gotta love that as well, to add on top of all of the better than, worse thans, higher than, lower thans, all the good stuff that you've come to love with Underdog. Tons of ways to get in with NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, Formula One, NASCAR. All 3 series are represented on there as well. Lobby's jam-packed, profit boost, and no sweat entries. You can also use specials and boosts on all flexed entries as well. We're going to give you all of our favorite underdog picks during the DFS episode of our show later this week. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN.
Beautiful, Rod. Let's catch up on the chat real quick. Laura, all right. Trucks rule. Hi, guys. Hi, Laura. TK saying odd schedule to ice the trucks so long. Yeah, again, like Rod was just explaining, truck odds came out 20 minutes before this episode. So we don't have like picks that we've already pre-researched. We're just going to walk through the process, talk through everyone. So we'll take your thoughts in the chat as well. Walter wants to know what's wrong with Caesars. They hide everything. Caesars is, shout out to them. They're the only ones who have truck odds up right now. So I guess we'll take what we can get. But yeah, it was in the other tab. Now it's in the truck tab. You got to go to the speakeasy, knock 3 times. Chris Tanber saying, let's go Marco with a laughing face. Jessica saying Chris Wright making an appearance. I don't believe that Chris Wright is in this race. I do not see Mr. Wright on the entry list, so more like Mr. Wrong. King wants to know what Swallich's odds for a top 10 are. I don't know about when, but I'd say taking them top 10 might be a solid bet. We don't get top 10s in the truck series, unfortunately. JDK wants to know where we found truck odds. We're not going to tell you. It is only Caesars right now. Nothing on Bet365 yet, JDK. So you have to wait until they pop out. But Laura's saying, let it happen. Captains. All right, Rod, should we let it happen? Where do you want to start?
I want to start on the head-to-heads.
That's where I was going to say.
Yeah.
There's one that pops out to me right away just looking at it.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your favorite?
Lane Riggs over Tyler Ankrum, minus 130. This is a smash hammer for me. Love this. Lane Riggs, 1 start in the truck series at Bristol, 10th place finish. That's a nice, strong, solid run, right? That was earlier this spring, of course. And look, he's been he's good on short tracks. And this isn't a short flat track, right? It's just a short track, but still he's been very good on them, coming off a win most recently. Was it Milwaukee is where we were at last? That's where he just got his first career win. Tyler Ankrum had to scroll a long way to find his statistics here. He was 5th place here in the spring, so I will give him that. But it seems like he's not been running as well as of late here. But prior to that, 23rd, 11th, 32nd, 7th in there, a 20th in there. So he's got some good results here for sure, and he did do well here in the spring. But I'm all about some Lane Riggs as of late here, and I would definitely take Lane Riggs in this head-to-head.
Yeah, Lane Riggs, I like that one as well. But you know how much I love me some Tyler Ankrum, but it's just tough. It's really tough because with Lane Riggs running as well as he and momentum, I would say momentum, but all that's probably halted after a full-on month. But you got to think that they've been doing something in the meantime. So I love that one. Okay, look, I know this is an unpopular opinion given that we just watched Zilich do what he did. But I don't know why you're going to have Connor Zilich taking on Nick Sanchez. I understand that Nick Sanchez, especially earlier this year, finished in 17th, but he did start on the outside pole on this one. I know he's driving the 7 truck, and I know that the 7 truck has been driven by the guys like Kyle Busch. Even Zilich has actually driven this truck a couple times as well. But it's not. He did it in Richmond and ended up in 29th place in Richmond. He did not have a good day on that. This is different. The road course race, sure. In Austin, he ended up getting a top 10 finish there. In fact, the top 5 finish on a road course. But this is another oval, right? This is a lot of stuff that can jump up and catch you. And like we said, 29th place in the 7 truck earlier this year at Richmond doesn't bode necessarily all that well for Connor Zilich, in my opinion. Sanchez, 9th place finish here, like I said, in 2023, earlier this spring, 17th place finish. He's the full-time driver. He's the one that's been doing this week in and week out. And I don't know. You toss in Connor Zilich. Yes, you toss him in on an all-star race. That's or an all-star truck. That's all fine and well, but he's still got to be able to manage his way through traffic on this one. So for me, like I said, Nick Sanchez average finish this year of 9.1, a top 10 truck almost every single week. He finished 4th at Milwaukee this last time out. He won at Charlotte, 3rd at Gateway, 2nd at Darlington, 4th at Martinsville. These are all semi-short tracks that he's been inside of the top 5. Connor Zilich would have to be a top 5 truck this week if he wanted to beat Nick Sanchez, in my opinion, and I don't think that's going to happen. So minus 115 for young Nick Sanchez over Connor Zilich. I know the popular pick is going to be Zilich because of what we saw, but hold the phone.
Yeah, I don't love trusting Sanchez. I'll start with that, but I do like the idea of fading Zilich. Look, he came out to the Xfinity race last week, kicked everybody's butt. Big story, right? Like, this is the most touted prospect since Kyle Larson and Joey Logano. Like, that's some big shoes to fill in, right? He's going to be the next Cup superstar and champion and this great driver. And while I believe most of that stuff, and I think he's uberly talented and he's great, his background is road course racing. He's still working on the oval stuff. Tomorrow, there's an ARCA race. He is going to kick everyone's ass, probably win this race by 15 seconds. There's going to be 2 cars in the lead lap. It's going to be him and Sawalich. And if you could find his odds at minus 125 on Bovada, go bet him because it's worth taking it to win the race. And then everybody's going to be like, oh, look what he did in the ARCA race. It's a little different. There's only 2 cars that are any good in the ARCA race. He's a really good driver, yes, but we saw it at Richmond, right? The oval stuff still has to come to him. He's still got to learn that this is short track racing under the lights in the playoffs with the Truck Series drivers. It's not going to be super easy for him. And again, if this was a road course, I think it's a different story, but I do like the idea of fading Zilich a little bit just because everybody's going to be like, oh, look what the kid did last week. And, well, let's pump the brakes. I don't think we should have that high of expectations just yet on him on these oval tracks.
And look, I'm not even saying that he's probably not going to be a top 10 truck at the end of the day. He very well may be sneaking his way into the top 10. But again, I really believe that Nick Sanchez will be jockeying for a top 5, top 6 spot and won't be at the back end of the top 10 where Zilich will probably be there. Now, it's the 7 truck. Could he come out and be a top 3 truck? Okay, he maybe could, but who knows? I'm not going to anoint him yet. In fact, if you look at his top 3 number in and of itself, man, I we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's look at some top 5s, Cody, because do you have any more head-to-heads? I don't have any more head-to-heads.
No, I think that's it for head-to-heads. Yeah, let's jump into the top 5 market. I'm just going to start Christian Eckes, minus 700, Rod. Just kidding. Fucking ridiculous. Minus 700. Jesus Christ, what are we doing here? Connor Zilich is plus 145. That's insane.
For a top 5, that is not even close.
So I got to say that the first guy that jumps off the board to me, Grant Enfinger. You know how much we love him on short tracks. This is a short track, and Grant Enfinger has been really good here. He did finish 9th here in the spring, but that was prior to them figuring their shit out, right? This was an early March race, March 16th. This race took place. It was we were still in that. We can't really trust the CR7 truck. I mean, we've thrown that out, right? Grant Enfinger, fucking good in that truck now. We get it. Here's his finishes prior to that, Rod. 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 6th, 5th, 10th, 4th. That's it. He's got 8 starts here, and he's got, 6 of them have been in the top 6. 5 of them have been in the top 5. You love to see that. He's plus 100, so even money for the top 5. Again, if you get Bet365, you probably get a little bit better number. They tend to have better numbers than Caesars does. So if you can get that over there, I like it. But give me some Grant Enfinger top 5 at even money, Rod. I'm going to keep talking because Rod's once again having problems, and he's telling me to keep going. So let's continue looking down the top 5 odds board here. Just to kind of give you an idea. So you got Zilich at 145, Sanchez at 175, Taylor Gray at 2-1, Lane Riggs at 2-1. Okay, let's stop and pause there. Rod's giving me the thumbs up. Does that mean you can hear me? Does that mean you can talk? Your microphone's muted, so nobody can hear you.
It's Rod versus technology.
Oh, Rod versus technology, round number 2. Potentially Rod has won this one. I don't know if you heard anything. I've gotten down to Lane Riggs. I paused there at 2-1. It piques my interest, but I don't know if 2-1's a big enough number to want to take it.
No, and look, so my next one that I was going with too, because I scrolled all the way down past any of that stuff. Somebody gave this one, and I believe JDK was the one. This is where I'm at right now. Matt Crafton, top 5, plus 550. I don't know how many times I'm going to fall on the damn sword for Matt Crafton, but when you look at his overall stats here, it's not bad. 2 of the last 3 that he's been on this track have been top 5 finishes. A 5th in 2022, a 4th in earlier this spring. Started 20th. The thing about it is that he's not just starting in the front and staying up front. Like that 5th place finish from 2022, he started 16th, finished 5th. In the spring, he started 20th. I think I gave him out as a top 5 car back then too, or a top 5 truck as back then too, and he ends up doing it by hook or by crook. So 20th to 4th, something about this track in particular. He's got 6 top 5 finishes, 15 top 10 finishes in 22 starts. That is insane. His average finish here is exactly 10th place. So look, at plus 550, Matt Crafton loves himself a top 10 finish, and he's always circling around the top 5, if not inside of it. So I like that long shot at plus 550 for Crafton as a top 5. Laura saying, I hate it when that happens, Rod. I'm telling you right now, we have worked my equipment to the bone at this point. We're 502 episodes into this, 70 into the F1 Gambling Podcast, plus the other hundreds of episodes that I've done on all my other shows. So yeah, this poor thing, it's time to go. Maybe I'd start a GoFundMe to buy a new Roadcaster.
There you go. Okay, Rod. So I like your Crafton one. Obviously, we're always both very big on Crafton, so I like it. Was scrolling out a little farther. William Sawalich, I stopped there, plus 550. But he's got 2 starts here in this Tricon truck, and they've both been in the 20s in his finishing position. So I don't know about that. Corey Day, though, at 6-1, piques my interest a little. I've quickly learned a lot more about Corey Day in the last 5 seconds. And so he is referred to as a winged sprint car phenom. This is going to be a HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, the 81 truck for McAnally Hilgeman here, which that puts up a bunch of flags of, okay, Rick Hendrick is slapping his name on here. That, to me, signals Kyle Larson said, hey, Rick, this kid's fucking good. So he's 18 years old. This is going to be his first start. He's signed for 4 races. So he's going to be here, Kansas, Homestead, and Martinsville. So you like to see all of that. His list of accolades that he's done in the sprint cars here it's really good. He's done a lot of stuff here. Won a lot of things. What did I just see? Youngest USAC National Midget Feature winner and World of Outlaws victory. This kid looks like he's pretty good. Seen some sprint car guys end up being pretty good. Kyle Larson's, the Christopher Bells, the Chase Briscoes, right? Plus 600, first start. He's going to be a McAnally Hilgeman truck. Those trucks are fast. I know I just made a case against Ankrum, but that's Tyler Ankrum. So I'm going to take a little shot here. We've seen some guys do really good in their debuts. Give me some Corey Day top 5 plus 550. Where'd it go? 600, 6-1. And I think the fact that it's only 6-1, Rod, sort of intrigues me even more. Like maybe they know something. So give me Corey Day top 5. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's just good. They know that Hendrick is going to be on that car. And
I think that to me signals something big for sure. JDK is predicting your next pick, Rod, to be Stuart Friesen 12-1. 3 things that go together: Rod, Applebee's, and betting on Stuart Friesen. Can I interest you in a Stuart Friesen 12-1 top 5, Rod?
You cannot interest me in a Stuart Friesen top 5. A top 10, possibly, but a top 5. No, it's just we have not. I mean, you guys know, you guys watch these races. You've seen it's not been the most friendliest of times for Stuart Friesen on this track in particular. I mean, look, a top 10 finish. Okay, right. He finished 7th in 2022. He did have a top 5 in 2021, but his last 2 finishes here, 14th and 22nd. 14th and 22nd, the last guy. And that 22nd was earlier this spring. When we were talking about, hey, we love Stuart Friesen, but look, his average finish this year, 16.7. He finished 20th at Milwaukee, 25th at Richmond, 33rd at IRP, 7th place at Pocono. The last time he had a top 5 finish was Charlotte back in like 6 years ago, where he finished in second place. But outside of that, that's been his only top 5 finish at all this year. So I'm way out on Stuart Friesen as a top 5 truck this year, or this year, I guess, but this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I really have no rebuttal to that. It's not been good for Stewart this year. So I was looking at a couple other guys. Numbers sort of intrigued me.
Can you look at it after we step away for a second?
Sure.
Look at that. You can get there. But I've got one last thing to tell everybody about, and that's BetUS. We're brought to you by BetUS bet with the best in the business. BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can bet anywhere. BetUS is available in tons of locations, including internationally. BetUS just launched an all-new live betting experience. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. We've been giving you all of our favorite BetUS bets. In fact, if you listen to the Formula One, the F1 Gambling Podcast, we got a ton of BetUS bets over there for you. And when they come out with the odds, which they did for Xfinity, we'll give you those tomorrow as well. In the meantime, use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Rhythm AI had a great NFL Week 2, 22.5 ROI on NFL spread bets and a 44.3 ROI on NFL money line bets. You can build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model for me. And Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Used it last week to predict Tyler Allgeier's rushing total. The books had him set at 22.5. I needed to know if that was too low, too high, what was going on. Built a model with Rhythm, put me on the over. That easily cashed within 2.5 drives. Tyler Allgeier busting loose for like 27 yards before the Eagles even saw the field again. So absolutely loved it. Going to do it again this week for my player props as well. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We got to get them on NASCAR, Cody. We got to see if Rhythm can get in there on NASCAR.
Yeah, I'd like to build some NASCAR models. That'd be a lot of fun, Ron.
That would be fun. So, all right. I'm sorry, Cody. I cut you off. I now yield the floor back to you.
Shout out to our wonderful advertisers. They're the reason we're here, along with all of you wonderful people listening. So shout out to both of you. I was just going to mention 2 other guys that sort of intrigued me. I looked at them, but I'm probably not going to pull the trigger. Tanner Gray at 12-1. Seems like a big number for what he's done, but don't really have any top 5 finishes this year. So, meh. If you're a sicko and you like Connor Jones at 50-1, he did finish 15th here last year. He is a short track guy, a late model guy. He's in a Thor Sport truck. They're strong. I think you could make a case for it. Maybe he's more of like a DFS type of play if you want to go there. I don't know that at 50-1, fuck it, Rod. Connor Jones, top 5, 50-1. Just a small little shekel. Maybe there's some chaos and he puts himself in the right position at the end of the day. Give it to me. I like it.
Well, what's tough is when you look back at the last couple of seasons on this race, well, the last couple of races on this track in particular, the spring race, Christian Eckes led 150 laps of this race. Corey Heim ends up catching him in the end and winning it. But behind him, that was Grant Enfinger, that was Carson Hocevar, that was Taylor Gray, that was Roger Carruth. Like, those were the guys. I'm sorry, that's the 2023 race. I'm sorry. The 2023 race behind him was guys like Carson Hocevar, Taylor Gray, Roger Carruth, Ben Rhodes, Chase Purdy. Like, we're not having that same conversation with these guys. Hocevar obviously not even in the conversation. Now in the spring race, it was almost a lot like it. Christian Eckes leads 144 laps. However, Kyle Busch was in that. He led 105 of those laps. Zane Smith was in that spring race with that 91 truck. He ended up finishing in 3rd. We had Matt Crafton, Tyler Ankrum, Corey Heim, Taylor Gray, Roger Carruth, Grant Enfinger, and Lane Riggs in the top 10. The books have noted the names that have been repeating themselves inside of the top 10 and the top 5 and adjusted accordingly. You take out guys like Kyle Busch, Zane Smith, there's still not a lot of value in the top 5s and the top 3s because we've said it all season long, Cody. The truck season has a lot of chalk, and it's a lot of chalky races in this, and long shots don't always hit. So when the books tighten up their odds, it's tough to find value.
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it. I really have nothing else to add because I think you hit it pretty good. So, let's see. TK was saying, could he be one also be targeted as not to be kind to in this race? He was talking about Connor Zilich. I believe that he could be a target after showing up big in Xfinity. Trucks will at least not play nice. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that necessarily be a thing, but maybe there is something like, I got to race this guy harder because he's the next coming of the Lord Jesus Savior, Kyle Larson. I don't know. But, yeah. So, all right, Rod, should we move on to manufacturer props?
You don't want to even go to top 3?
You know me. I hate top 3s.
Yeah. And look, let me touch on the numbers, and then we'll move on to manufacturer.
Okay. Yeah. And if there's one you like, give it out, obviously.
No. Well,
I won't keep you from giving one out, but I just, top 3s I don't, in general, love.
Yeah. Christian Eckes minus 350 for a top 3, which is, Max Verstappen numbers to win races half the time back in the day. Corey Heim plus 110, Ty Majeski plus 120, Enfinger plus 230.
Enfinger plus 230. If you want to ride that car lift, because I'm definitely going to be on his outright. So if you want to ride that car lift, truck lift, go for it with Enfinger. I do actually, if I had, you forcing me to take a top 3, the Enfinger one at plus 230 is the one I would take.
Yep, and that's exactly what I was going to say too, because they stop at Enfinger, and that's about it. So that's where we'll leave it.
Riggs at plus 450, you can maybe make a case, but I'd rather just go with the top 5 and then maybe put the outright if you want to do that. So one note on the manufacturer props, Rod, Christian Eckes is plus. Wait a minute, never mind. I don't know.
Plus, no, he's not. Nowhere that I see.
Well, he's plus 150. I was thinking for some reason Chevy was a better number. Oh no, Corey Heim is the one I was looking at. So Toyota, Corey Heim is 4-1 to win this race. Toyota's plus 375. You might as well bet Toyota if you're going to bet on Corey Heim because, again, just in case one of the, although it's unlikely any of the other Toyotas win, just in case it ends up being a different Toyota, you might as well pay the extra 25 points to be covered there. So that's kind of the note I would make. Winning manufacturer, Chevy's at minus 175. That's pretty hard to bet. Ford is at plus 275. So if you're like Majeski, if you like Enfinger, if you like Riggs, but you might just bet those guys on their own. I guess I would cover you if a Ben Rhodes pops up and wins this race, but Matt Crafton, it's, I don't know. And then Toyota at 375, again, if you're going to bet Heim, you might as well take that. But he's really the only Toyota you're probably looking at that's going to have a solid chance to win this. Swalich, again, he's not done well in either start here, so that doesn't give me a lot of faith or hope. Any thoughts on the winning manufacturer market, Rod?
I would just leave it alone. The only one that I would place any bet on would be Toyota at 375
and that's only if you want to bet on Corey Heim, which I don't know that I want to do, Rod.
I don't know that I want to do it either. I feel like this is going to be a Chevy race, which is why it's so heavy on Chevy.
Yeah, it is heavy on Chevy. Speaking of Chevy, top Chevy market, Eckes is minus 140. Enfinger's plus 250. Another one you could throw into that truck lift if you're wanting to ride it. Zilich at plus 350 is a no for me. Sanchez, no. Ankrum at 850. Yeah, you could maybe sort of, I guess, make the case if you wanted to, but man, this is the Eckes and Enfinger show, in my opinion. I think these two are going to be two of the best trucks on the day, and I think it's going to be tough. Did I reference Enfinger as a Ford earlier?
I don't think so.
I think I did. I think I said if you think Majeski or Enfinger is going to win, Enfinger's in a Chevy for the record. So another reason to not bet on Ford, because really you're getting Majeski or all the way down to Riggs. Like, you might as well just bet those guys individually. So anyways, my bad back on that. But back to the top Chevy thing. Enfinger at plus 250, definitely, in my opinion, this is almost the head-to-head, him against Eckes, and you're getting him at plus 250. Obviously, things can happen. Other guys can get up here, but these should be two trucks that are the class of the field and should easily be the top Chevys assuming things go to plan, which we know always happens, right?
Yeah, we know everything ever always goes to plan. But I will say that if you would like to plan for a touch of chaos, might I offer Raja Caruth at 10-1? I feel like, I don't know why Caden Honeycutt's up there. I get it, I guess. But Raja Caruth 10-1. If
he's actually had some good finishes, but
he's had some good finishes, but Raja Caruth, he was the one that was behind Kosovar, Enfinger, and Eckes the last time that they were all three out together. If Kosovar is gone, but if Eckes and Enfinger take each other out in the last lap, a la Carlos Sainz and Checo Perez.
Too soon, Rod. Too soon.
And Raja Caruth makes it through. I mean, he's the next Chevy up there, 10-1. Might as well cash that one. But I don't think this is the only way that that's going to happen is if we get a little bit of chaos. I don't think he's.
Yeah, I mean, Raja, like 8th and 6th the last two races here. That's pretty solid. So he at 10-1, I think definitely worth taking a look at. I'm not going to bet it, but if you're wanting something in that market, I think he's definitely worth looking at.
Yep, and that's about it. That's about as low as I'll go for top Chevy.
Yeah. Okay, Rod. Group. There's one group available. Surprisingly, it's labeled as Group A. Generally, this is where we see it called Group E for some reason, but it is Group A. You got Taylor Gray at plus 200, Tyler Ankrum at 220, Caden Honeycutt at 250, and Raja at 250 as well. Is there anybody that makes you want to take them in this? What's Taylor done here?
I just pumped Raja, but look, Taylor Gray in this group, because Taylor's had some good finishes.
7th and 5th the last two times out.
Yeah.
And he's run good in the stages. This is a tough group, though. Like, I mean, I think you could make the case for Gray. You could make the case for Ankrum. You can make the case for Caruth. I bet if we tried hard enough, you could make the case for Honeycutt, too.
Well, here, let me make a case for Honeycutt.
Yeah, he's running.
He's in the 45, right? So we know the Nice truck.
12th and 13th, and wow, 13th in an on-point truck. That's actually pretty good. But
I'll tell you what.
In the spring.
Here's what I'll say: 9th at Martinsville, 4th at Kansas, 7th at Charlotte. Those are 3 good finishes for him. And then 12th.
But that's 2.5 miles, one short track.
Yep.
Honeycutt's probably the odd man out. Like he's the last one of this group I would bet. But nothing's making me scream, go bet on this group if we're going to be honest. So
you could get better odds for something else in there. So
yep. All right, Rod, winning car number, your specialty, 0 to 9. Can I interest you in a plus 330? This would get you William Sawalich, Justin Mondecki, something like that. Nick Sanchez, Marco Andretti, Dean Thompson, Connor Zilich, and Grant Enfinger at plus 330.
The only part of that would be Enfinger. That would be my only.
His number because it's way better.
10
to 19 is minus 225. Of course, that gives you Heim and Eckes, but that's going to be a negative. 20 to 29, 75 to 1. Rod, you get the likes of Keith McGee and Ty Dillon. And
you don't
that
think
is it. In
but
which
Ty
case,
Dillon, what's Ty Dillon to win? What's his?
Well, what's Keith McGee's? Yeah, I mean, these guys outright have to be bigger than this just alone.
There's no way I would bet this number if I'm just betting the outright.
Keith McGee is 2,000 to 1.
Oh, yeah.
And Ty Dillon is 2,500. Or wait, is he 20,000? Okay, Keith McGee is 20,000 to 1 to win, and Ty Dillon is 250 to 1. Jesus Christ, I don't know. There are a lot of big numbers. Don't fucking bet this.
Don't bet.
30 plus at plus 190, Rod. That would give you Lane Riggs, Friesen, Rhodes. Of course, you would get Majeski. He's kind of the big one in there. And you get Connor Jones. You get Crafton.
Get Day.
Friesen. You get Day. Probably just go bet on either Rhodes or Majeski, I think, if you want that. So
this group doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, I think we're gonna pass on all of the winning car numbers. I think unless one sticks out to you.
0 to 9. That's the only one that I would take at plus.
Yeah, but wouldn't you just rather take?
You could double down.
850.
You could double down.
But who else do you want in that group?
Yeah, that's true. Then just take Enfinger.
I mean, really, like Nick Sanchez, William Sawalich. Do you think Sanchez can win this race though?
No.
No.
It's been a month. It's been a month. Who knows what he's been doing for
plus 1,200? Then go bet him on that. He's been signing big spiked energy or liquor deals, whatever the fuck.
There you go. See,
big spike coolers. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Rod. outrights. Christian Eckes plus 150. Sign me up. I am all in for this.
Wait.
Christian Eckes.
You skipped over my favorite one though of this, the winning car numbers. Under 18 and a half.
Oh shit. I didn't see it. Sorry.
Under 18
okay. Under 18 and a half plus 160.
Yeah.
That's Eckes is the line there, of course. You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
Plus 160. If I get all the guys that we talked about with Enfinger and Heim, if I'm going to do that, then that'll be a good one.
Okay. Plus 160. Okay. There you go. There's Rod's play. All right. Outrights. As I was saying, Rod, Christian Eckes, sign me up. Plus 150. Don't care. I will pay it. He has been a fucking stud here over the last 3 races. Kyle Busch might have led 105 laps in the spring, but he has led 294 laps. He won that race in the spring, beating said Kyle Busch, leading 155 laps or 144 laps. I don't know where I got 155. Led 144 laps in the fall race here last year. He swept both stages, led 150 laps on his way to a second place finish, brutally not winning the race to one Corey Heim, who passed him with, I think, 4 laps to go or so. But that was a dominating performance by Mr. Christian Eckes. Those are his 2 starts here in the McAnally Hilgeman truck. Not the greatest of runs before that, but it doesn't really matter because it's been completely different for him in this truck. Plus 150, I think that it is worth betting on Mr. Christian Eckes at this number.
Who was it that we said a while back that it's like, look, we know the number's low, but if the driver's going to win, the driver's going to win. Yeah. So and
that's the thing. And he's just been like, and he's been not only that, but you look at what he's done on short tracks this year, and it has been the Christian Eckes show. He has been extremely good as I struggle quickly to try and pull up his, first of all, 3rd place last week, led 71 laps at Milwaukee, or not last week, 3 months ago, last time they raced. 2nd place at Richmond, short track, led 64 laps. IRP, 73 laps, finished in 2nd. So he's not winning these races, but he's leading a lot of laps. Pocono, he finishes 3rd, leads 11. Nashville led all 150 laps, won the race. Gateway led 2 laps, but finished 2nd place. So he's been top 3 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races in a row. Then he had a horrible 10th place finish at Charlotte, but back to short tracks, North Wilkesboro, he leads 62 laps, 6th place finish, but 4th, 3rd, 4th, 1st. Oh, and 8th place on a road course, but then 1st at Bristol, led 104 laps, like I mentioned before. It's been a fucking season for Christian Eckes. Yeah, I'm all in on this plus 150. I think that, and TK saying probably Hill at Atlanta. Don't remind us that Rod made that horrible bet and somehow cashed it.
That's what it was.
Corey Heim at 4-1, Rod. Just not doing it for me.
Well, I'll give you one. I like Ty Majeski at 5-1. I really do. 5-1 seems like a really big number for a guy who quite literally is on a roll. He has won on this track. His last couple have not been great, 19th and 34th. He was starting within the top 5 in both of those, but you look at what he's done so far just leading up to this race, right? Ty Majeski, playoff Ty Majeski has been engaged. 2 wins, IRP in Richmond, a 2nd place at Milwaukee after starting on the pole. That's just his last 3 races. You go back to Gateway, he finished 4th after starting on the pole. Martinsville, he finished 2nd after starting on the pole. Like, he has done well in these shorter tracks for the trucks. And like I said, playoff Majeski, full send now. He did not win in Milwaukee after leading 45 laps. You know he's pissed off about that one. And so he's going to come back with a vengeance. And at 5-1, that's a hell of a number for a guy that's won 2 out of the last 3 races and has been top 2 in all 3 of those. So I do like Ty Majeski. You can sprinkle something at 5-1 on him.
Yeah, I mean, no argument from me here. He's obviously been on a tear. Short tracks, he's been kicking ass here lately, so hard to argue too much with Majeski at that number. Grant Enfinger plus 850, I think we both love this. If I had to place one outright, this is the outright it would be. Enfinger plus 850, absolutely in love with that. Zilich at 10-1, not interested. Sanchez at 12-1, not interested. Lane Riggs, 18-1, sign me up for that. Won the last short track race we were just at. Why not go back-to-back, Rod? He's been really good at short tracks. Now that he's figured out how to win, maybe he can do it again. 18-1, it's definitely worth it, I think. Zilich, Sanchez, Riggs, any of those guys do anything for you?
Nope.
Okay, what about Ankrum, 24-1, Honeycutt, 25?
I mean, No, because I know that if we're talking to this is going to be heavy at
Rod
the
wanted
top.
to say Ankrum, so
I
bad
wanted
right there.
to. Let the record show that I did not bite. I did not bite on Ankrum, even though I probably should, but I don't want to. Because if we think all those guys are going to be good that we just talked about, there's no room for Ankrum to win this race.
Yeah, I think this group right here is very appealing. These three guys: Taylor Gray at 25-1, Carruth at 26-1, and Rhodes at 30-1. We talked about Gray. He's had a couple good finishes. You made a case for Carruth earlier. Rhodes, I don't even know what he's done here. It doesn't matter because he can just win each and every single week. We know how he is. He pops up. He has playoff shit that he randomly does, which is always nice. You look back, 16th, 7th, 18th, 9th. I don't know. Not been great here. I'm probably not going to bet it, but those three guys are at least intriguing. Like that's kind of where I would look to if I wanted a 25-1 or longer, I think. Any thoughts on those guys, Rod?
Just that's where I draw the line. Like I'm not entertaining any thoughts below this.
Yeah, I mean, Crafton at 60-1. Again, you could make the case for it. Oof, Stewie is 100-1, Rod. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Stuart.
Oof. How the mighty have fallen.
Fall. They have. Yeah.
But,
even that Crafton at 60-1, I still feel way more comfortable. Look, if he wins, good on him. But I still feel way more comfortable putting a top 5 on him because I don't see him winning this race outright.
Yeah. All right, Rod. I've been writing down our favorite ones. I think I got everything. If you want me to recap real quickly.
Yes, please. Look at you, all studious and everything.
I figured we're going to need something to recap next week. Plus, this will give us, that was a lot of us talking and saying things, and maybe you don't exactly know what we were picking. So we'll start out. Riggs over Ankrum, -130. I really like that one. I believe Rod co-signed that. Rod said Sanchez over Zilich, -115. I also co-signed that. Grant Enfinger, top 5, even money. I think we were both bid in on that. Take a peek at his top 3, +230 if you want to. Didn't write that down officially, but maybe worth it. Crafton, top 5, +550. You gave that one out. I like Corey Day, top 5 at 6-1. Rod, you went with the under 18.5 as the winning car number at +160. I tossed out that Connor Jones long shot 50-1 for a top 5. And then for outrights, you made the case for Majeski 5-1. I like Eckes at +150. We're both on Enfinger at +850. And Lane Riggs at 18-1 as well. One more order of business before we get out of here, Rod. We have some fantasy picks to make.
Yes, we do.
As I try to quickly get logged in here.
Oh, we cleared the board for everybody last week, right? So the last week is when we started again.
Yeah, last race out was kind of our refresh, and I don't know. I'll have to check in with Phil and Derek and see what their plans are for that show. I know Derek's kind of taken a step back from the NASCAR betting previous show, so I don't know if they're still going to have truck show together or if Phil will come out with that or what the case might be. But let's see. Well, I know they beat us. For some reason, I can't find that race specifically for whatever reason.
Yeah, they did because we actually
they beat us by like one position on the one guy we had different, I think.
Yeah.
So they're slightly going to be up, but that's okay. All right, Rod, let's make our picks here. We've got one A driver to pick, and I think that A driver should be Christian Eckes.
How many do we? We
have 6 starts left with him, so
yeah.
We just use them. So,
yep.
B drivers, Grant Enfinger. We've only got 2 starts left, but I think we both really like him here. If you look at it, Kansas, he's been good there, but probably not going to use him. Talladega, Homestead, Martinsville, you're probably going to want to use them there. And then maybe Phoenix. So that's 3 places, but I say we use Enfinger this week.
I agree with you on that one.
Okay. Lane Riggs, we have 5 starts left with him, so he is an option. Let's see. Brett Holmes, Daniel Dye, Dean Thompson, Lawless Allen, Matt Mills, Stewie, the Gray brothers, Timmy Hill, Dylan, and Ankrum.
Yeah, it's got to be Riggs.
Okay. Riggs,
especially with 5 starts and how many races? Like 5.
Exactly. Yeah, there's only a couple left. So, C driver, we've got Bailey Curry, Connor Jones, Jack Wood, Justin Carroll, Marco Andretti, Raja Carruth. We only have 3 starts left with him. Spencer Boyd and William Sawalich.
So do we go?
So I think we save Carruth for bigger tracks.
Okay.
Sawalich is interesting. I think they would probably play Sawalich if we want to play defense. If we want to call our shot on Connor Jones, Rod, could I interest you in Connor Jones?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Let's do it.
We'll call our shot. So that'll give us Christian Eckes. Grant Enfinger, Lane Riggs, and Connor Jones. Again, this is our driver group game fantasy matchup against the guys over at the NASCAR Betting Preview Show. Make sure you check them out. I know they'll have their about 2 hours here or so. They'll be live with their Cup Series picks. Tino has been doing a great job taking that show over and all of that. So make sure you check those guys out. We made it, Rod. Truck Series. They waited till the last second. We changed the format of the show. It was kind of fun, though. I didn't mind walking through it this way and talking about everything a little bit.
Yeah, it was a much different approach to it. So definitely, like we said, the books kind of forced us into it. So we took advantage of what we had. Thankfully, both of us have been in the military, like you said, and we've been able to just
roll with the punches, baby.
Roll with it. Semper Gumby, kids. That's the motto of it, as always. So, all right. Well, then let's get this out quickly so people have time to digest this and get their truck.
Thursday night. Don't forget. Don't wait on these bets. Get them in, because Thursday there's practice qualifying. It's all in the same. Are we going to get odds back up? Who the fuck knows? So stop what you're doing. Go place these bets right now. Yeah, you might want to wait and see what guys do in practice and qualifying, but you might not get another chance to bet on them. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, such a condensed week. Half the time they're not great about getting stuff back up already because it's only a few hours difference. I wouldn't wait on betting on this truck race if you're going to do so. So make sure you get those in. Rod, F1 Gambling Podcast should be up when you're done listening to this. So make sure you go check that out as well. We had a pretty good week in F1 last week. Going to try and do so again this week. That was a fun episode as always. And we'll be back tomorrow, Xfinity Series. I know that was scheduled originally for this time slot, but it'll be in this time slot tomorrow now, 4 o'clock Central Time, 2 on the West Coast there. So make sure you tune in for that. They'll race Friday night, and then back with some probably just Cup Series DFS on Friday. I don't know what the plan is. We'll figure it out, but we haven't got that far in life.
We'll figure it out. That's the way the world works. We'll just figure it out. We'll do it live. I'll write it. We'll do it live. All right, Cody. In the meantime, just let everyone know where to find you outside.
Yes, I forgot that part. Follow me on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Find all my stuff over there. There's plenty of it, so check it out.
Indeed, yeah. Just like Cody said, we've seen it before where the odds just don't come back up. So get it in now. We're gonna have this out soon. As soon as I can get the editing fingers crunched, we'll get this out. So you'll have a little bit of time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us live. Thanks for hanging with us as we switch gears. We'll see you tomorrow for some Xfinity, and until then, let's go racing and let it ride.